You can see these patterns, they're human behavior on a chart, and they don't all happen at the same time. This is the hard thing about the banana zone, is different things pop at different times. And you've always, trust me, always got the feeling you've got the wrong token. Then yours pumps, and then something else pumps. And you're like, do I chase this one? Have I got it wrong? Stick with your program. You'll probably get it right over time if you've used the don't fuck this up thesis of asset allocation. So don't worry, FOMO is a natural part of this market. The real temptation is to chase every breakout. Don't do that, because they roll over time, they repeat the same patterns, but they're not all 100% in the same phase. The other one that's an absolute stunner of a chart is Doge. Doge just keeps doing the same thing every cycle. It does consolidation, 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 explosion. Consolidation, 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 explosion. The explosion is always the banana zone, and Doge is the strongest characteristic of the banana zone. It's this massive meme that gets the world's attention. It has been going since 2013, and it has been unstoppable. And look at the breakout levels. Now, if we repeat anything like we did the last two banana zone periods, we've got a hell of a ride to come. So Doge is something that I keep a close focus on. And again, once we zoom down to the shorter term time horizon, Doge, and again, this is slightly out of date, this is from yesterday, but Doge is wedging yet again. These wedges are fabulous patterns in bull markets or bear markets, depending which way you're looking at, but they consolidation, the pause that refreshes, next leg higher. So we're expecting any day now, digestion of a little bit of the move we had with Bitcoin going to 104,000, consolidate, then something will break. I don't know what it was. Sui broke yesterday, broke to the upside. Now it's consolidating. Maybe it's Doge tomorrow. And this rolling breakouts is how it happens. Then consolidation. And as people build confidence, we start moving into, okay, bigger correction to come. Doge Bitcoin is like, I think, the most humorous chart in all of humanity. What it's saying is since Doge came out in 2013, it's outperformed Bitcoin by 500%. It's suggesting that Doge is the hardest currency in the known galaxy. Now, if that chart plays out and it breaks that kind of downward sloping wedge or whatever channel, and we go to a new high, I mean, that's telling us something that we can't get our heads around, that Doge is literally a better currency than Bitcoin. And I know that's contentious. I'm just looking at the charts. I find it hilarious. We may be living in a simulation, and it's probably Elon's simulation. Therefore, this works. One of the memes you all know I've got, Smoking Chicken Fish. Smoking Chicken Fish did a perfect rip up and then long-term consolidation, which happens to be a wick-off reaccumulation pattern. We should expect it to go to the top of the range around the sort of 120, 130 level, chop around there for a bit and then explode higher. So, you can use these kind of patterns as well. But again, they're all suggestive that we're in the banana zone, the first leg of the banana zone. Not everything sinks. They come one after the other, off the other. Then we get a big correction. And maybe in that bigger correction, it could be the majors correct and the alts explode higher. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to wait and see. I don't trade it. And we'll talk about that correction in a bit. Smoking Chicken Fish broke out of the downward sloping wedge pattern as well. So again, just more confirmation. Here's a leverage play on SWI, which is deep book, which is the liquidity layer for SWI. So the more, if you think of like the Jupiter idea, the more activity that happens on SWI, the more deep book is likely to go up.
This week in the stock market, all eyes were on Solana cryptocurrency and DeepSeek. Raoul Pal goes into an important deep dive to explain how Solana experienced its share of highs and lows thanks to the new disruptive AI startup, DeepSeek. Investors are bracing themselves for a series of changes as DeepSeek introduced a paradigm shift threatening to disrupt global AI and crypto dynamics. Let's take a deep dive into the details of Solana's bumpy ride this past week. Welcome back, everyone, to Investocracy Crypto.
Now, if we're right about SWI, that that it gets into the top 10 and potentially the top 5 in this cycle, well, the liquidity layer is going to be extremely valuable. So, there could potentially, and it's not a recommendation, but it could do a 10x. So this is how I'm saying there are ways of having leverage plays on top. Okay, let's go back to the liquidity story. So the liquidity story here is, oh my God, and I've been sent this chart 1,000 times by people. Oh my God, what happens? Is it all over? Is this the peak? Is this the end? Do we get out now? What happens? What happens? Panic, 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 bullshit. Okay, we had exactly the same thing last time Trump was elected. The dollar was strong, rates went up, liquidity contracted, the market had a big rally, which is Bitcoin. And then in January, because of the lag, what we found was a sharp 27% correction in Bitcoin. And then it ripped higher. Ripped higher so much, in fact, that it went up 23x. Now, I'm not expecting that because this was a much earlier cycle. But what we're saying is that correction is not to fear. That correction is just a marker point from phase 1 of the banana zone to phase 2 of the banana zone. Phase 2 of the banana zone usually goes into US tax season, which is like April. Then there's usually a consolidation because people have to sell tokens to pay taxes. And then there's usually phase 3 of the banana zone is the rip into year end. And that's all driven by the liquidity cycle. So we can see these banana zone periods as they start appearing. Bitcoin just does this every time, like Doge does. So we've just broken that part of the cycle. So this is the start of the banana zone as we start accelerating higher. Going back to liquidity, here's Global M2. You see, Global M2 does this a lot. It also wedges. I love a wedge.
During the recent market turbulence, Solana stood out among the uncertainty. This week, DeepSeek, a Chinese AI startup, grabbed attention by taking on big companies like OpenAI and Google. This created speculation, leading to short-term drops in stock prices as investors quickly adjusted their portfolios. Solana, which had reached a high close to $270, saw its price fall as the AI market was reassessed.
And what happens is it has a break higher, then this consolidation. It's happened every time we've got to the banana zone period, the kind of US election cycle, stuff like that. So we've done that. We've corrected the breakout. Now, Global M2 is actually driven by the strength of the dollar. Now, the dollar has started to weaken. We expect it to weaken going forwards, and that will then reignite the next phase of the banana zone as we start bouncing higher. You can see those corrections in M2 were short. Now, the reason being is we've got to roll all of this global liquidity. We've got massive amounts of debt to roll over, and you need liquidity to do it. So that is the game, the big game, the everything code game that I've talked to you about. So the everything code game is very much at play. This is a phase, the early phase of the breakout. This year is the year of liquidity, and that's why the year ahead, and that's why the banana zone plays out so beautifully. So we talked about Global M2 being driven by the dollar. So let's look at the dollar. And also rates is the other part of financial conditions and liquidity. So what we're finding is that the dollar, as you can see, and rates had moved away from trend. That was the strength that we saw. This is what creates the down move in global liquidity. Now, what's interesting is the Citi Economic Surprises Index, which is an index of whether the economy is beating forecasts or underperforming forecasts, says we should now have a period of underperforming forecasts because it was driven by the tightening of conditions from the dollar and rates.
Despite the chaos, Solana showed strong resilience. Its total value lock faced some obstacles, highlighting the challenges it was dealing with. However, despite these issues, some interesting developments emerged. Solana's supply of stablecoins grew to over $11 billion, which was more than Ethereum's. Additionally, meme coins played a significant role in the conversation. Innovators like Jupiter made moves by buying stakes in Moonshot. While some may find meme coins trivial, the real joke might be on those who overlooked Jupiter's smart bet in this unpredictable market. But before going any further, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
I do not see a peak in the cycle early because guess what? The business cycle is at its bottom. The White House has just come in with all of the new people, their job, grow, 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 grow. They will fucking force this economy to grow. And therefore, the business cycle has at least 9 months, probably 12 months to play out. We could even see an extended cycle into 2026, but it will be a cycle. It will not be a super cycle because liquidity gets withdrawn and then gets eventually re-added again as the economy heats up.
Solana competes with new platforms like DeepSeek. Cryptocurrency adapts well and keeps interest high with strong stories and market trends. Looking ahead, potential investors should think about how comfortable they are with the exciting yet unpredictable nature of Solana. But what do you think? Share your thoughts. And finally, if you would like to know more about cryptocurrencies or specifically Bitcoin, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen. See you there.